Welcome to this special session called Heal Your Relationship with Money. I'm Sarah McCrum and I'm going to be hosting this event today. And I want to start by just saying a little bit about why I feel that our relationship with money is so important in the context of World Unity Week, and more significantly, of course, in the context of world unity itself. We all have a very personal relationship with money, whether we think of it in relationship terms or not. And most of us have some fairly strong opinions about a more public relationship with money, whether it's what we think about the systems of government, systems of power, systems of commerce that are all associated with money. And our relationship with money has an enormous effect on us, and it's expressed out in the world, and what we experience in terms of money and what we think and feel about money in the world are very closely connected together. It's very easy to see that throughout at least the last few thousand years of history, money has often been associated with corruption because it's associated with power. And so we have developed these very difficult beliefs around money, I think, where it can become dangerous to have too much money because it will corrupt your virtue. And so we have this split inside ourselves between whether I can be a good person or I can be a wealthy person. And when we have that kind of split going on inside ourselves, it's extremely difficult to have a healthy relationship with money. And it's also extremely difficult to look at money in the world in its public role, so to speak, with any degree of clarity or of neutrality or of rationality, because it tends to be so clouded by our own perception and our own personal experience. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at how we can start to heal this relationship with money in a way that's going to affect ourselves as individuals, and ultimately is also going to affect the collective experience of money. To begin with, I would like to share a video, which is one of the videos that my friend Gary Malkin, who's an amazing composer, and I actually created for World Unity Week itself. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this particular video. It's asking us to look forward to 2030. World Unity Week is going to take place every year up till 2030. I don't know what will happen beyond that, but that's what I've been told by the organizers. And 2030 is the year where we have set lots of goals. Humanity, so to speak, has set goals for 2030, and so it's all part of the lead up to 2030. But also in this recording that I'm going to share with you, it invites you to look forward to 2030 and to bring that energy back into now. And that is such a key to our relationship with money. I created this recording with the energy that I would like to share with you also in relation to money.
Let's take a look into the year 2030. A time when we can see the results of so many people making positive change. Let's feel right now what it's like to know peace on our planet. Let's see what it looks like when Earth is free to restore her natural beauty. Let's listen to the sounds of people who are living in harmony with each other and with nature. Let's sense the deep love for life that has created this change. The people who have joined together to do good for the world. The individuals who had the courage and determination to do what they knew was right. The organizations that changed direction for the sake of our mutual well-being. The leaders who encouraged us to trust ourselves and our inner knowing. The spirits who whispered in our hearts, showing us the way when we couldn't see it clearly. These are the expressions of love that unite us and give us power to move forward, creating the world we long to live in. Let's bring that world into the present moment and live it today and tomorrow and the next day and every day on the path to 2030 and beyond.
That video contains the essence of what I actually learned about money. I'll tell my story because there may be people, especially on the Facebook stream, who don't know anything about it. In 2010, I was running a business and it failed. It fell apart in the recession. We couldn't pay our bills, basically, which is a very challenging financial experience, and it left me unable to pay the rent, wondering what on earth I was going to do next. And at that time, somebody gave me a little book called How to Become a Money Magnet. And honestly, it was not the kind of book I would normally have read. Although I was running a business, I was fairly switched off from money, typically British. It's something that I grew up, we didn't really talk about it. But the book had exercises at the end of the chapters, and one of the exercises said, "What would money like to say to you?" And I had a very extraordinary experience, because as I was kind of noting something in my notebook, just journaling, my pen started writing for me. And I found myself writing a message from money that was quite unlike anything that I could ever have written myself. It was most definitely not my words at that time. And it was an extraordinarily beautiful message. It was something that I had never, ever associated with money before. And in a moment, I'm actually going to share a video with you of that message, because it had such a profound effect on me and actually really became the stimulus for the whole of the next part of my life up until now, because it made me realize that I and we had completely misunderstood what money really is, and that our relationship with money is therefore distorted because it's based on this misunderstanding of what it is. And so after that, I started, a couple of days later, I said, that was an interesting experience. Let's see what happens if I give it another go. And I found myself writing another message from money. And I ended up doing it every day for a few months. And I had over 60 messages from money at the end, which I turned into a book, which is called Love Money, Money Loves You, which gives you a hint to the content and to the core message of the book, which is that money is associated with, or it's an energy of love. And that is so opposite to what most of us have ever thought of. It actually makes sense once you begin to reflect on it. But because we're so experienced, let's say, in a relationship with money that's based on fear and stress and worry and conflict and a lot of hidden emotions, a lot of suppression and repression of our natural attraction to money and to abundance and to generosity, we very, very rarely really associate it with love. Or if we do, we see that as being something wrong. When you bring money together with love, it radically changes your relationship with it. And so I needed to go on a journey in my own life of figuring out, how do you do that? How do you operate with money in this frame and language of love? What do you do differently? How do you do business? Because I have a business and I'm now co-founder of another business. How do you do business when you are thinking about money in association with love rather than all the other ways that people tend to think about it? And it changes not only your relationship with money, but it ends up changing your relationship with yourself, your relationship with life, and with your sense of purpose. And it also has changed a lot my experience of life, my inner experience. It turned out for me that examining and reflecting on and opening up and transforming my relationship with money enabled me to experience more freedom and joy than I'd ever been able to experience before. And I always feel that it's such an irony that we look for freedom in money. We look for financial freedom. And people, even when they get financial freedom, don't always experience freedom. And yet, if we look for freedom in a true relationship with money, it seems that freedom truly can emerge from that. So that was a very extraordinary thing for me to discover. So what I'd like to do is share that very first message with you that I received from money. I'm going to share it again in a multi-sensory format because it helps you to take on the richness of the message that was shared with me, and because it was very much a message for you, not just for me. That became apparent after a while. So again, with the same composer, Gary Malkin, and the same videographer, and all the video that you see in anything that I share here, none of it is stock footage, it's all his own video. He's had this fascination with light and beauty, which goes perfectly with the work that I've been doing. So this is a recording of money speaking to you. This is what money would like to say to you. This is what money would like to say to you. I would like to tell you to love me. Smile at me. Collect me. Enjoy me. Feel my power. Spend me. Invest me. Give me. Pay with me. Take me. I am an energy. I'm very powerful and beautiful. I'm an incredible web of connections. I am light. You're too afraid of me, as you are of many things. You can open up and embrace me fully into your life. It's not too late. You
You can start now. Just open yourself and say yes. Be brave. Love me. Love yourself so you can accept my power, my glory, my light, my beauty. I'm not the devil. I never have been. I'm a glorious being of light. I connect human beings with each other. I'm so flexible. You can use me to channel your creativity. Just go ahead. I'm waiting for you. You must open your heart. You're too rigid, too afraid, and there's nothing to be afraid of. You will win not only me, but life also. I'm always here to help you. Just accept me, and I'll come to you very quickly. You've chosen to have more. There's a lot of me waiting for you. Don't wait, just take me. I will love you.
Let's take a little time together to have a look at our own relationship with money. I'm going to suggest that you close your eyes and sit back and get comfortable and take a few moments to have a look at your current relationship with money. What is the quality of that relationship? What is the feeling of it? What's your experience of that relationship? What's the nature of it? If you think of it like a relationship with a human being, how would you describe it? Have a look at different angles of your relationship with money. Look at how you feel when you receive money or you're offered money. Just like, how do you feel when you're offered love? How do you feel? What do you experience when you need to pay money to somebody else for something? What level is there in you of abundance or scarcity? What do you find yourself experiencing in this relationship with money? Does your relationship with money make you feel like a good person? Or does it make you feel uncomfortable? Some people feel dirty even in their relationship with money. What about your relationship with generosity? Do you feel generous in that relationship with money? Do you feel able to express your generosity freely, the natural generosity of your heart and your soul and your being? Does money make you feel good? Does it make you feel good about yourself? Does it make you feel good about your life? It's like you're having a look at many different aspects of this very important relationship in your life. And let go of any temptation to feel emotional about what you're seeing. That's not going to help, whether it's a positive or a negative emotion. There is power in seeing with clarity, with simply observing what's going on and not judging it. Whatever it is, that's the way it is at the moment, at least in your perception. Somebody else might perceive it very differently. So let go of any temptation to criticize or judge yourself. And let's let go now of your current relationship with money. And let's start to have a look at how you would love that relationship to be. How would you love to feel about money? How would you love to experience money? How would you love money to flow through your life? How would you love to express your generosity? How would you love to experience abundance, thriving, prosperity? And give yourself permission to dream into what you would love to experience in your relationship with money. Dream into the feeling of a relationship with money that you would love to have. How does it make you feel? Receiving, giving, being paid and paying, investing, saving, all the things we do with money. How could you feel around all of that? And what would you love to be able to do in your relationship with money? What choices could it give you? Just imagine, give yourself free rein to imagine in a grounded way what's possible and perhaps a little beyond what you have given yourself permission to dream of. especially beyond in the feeling. Allow yourself the enjoyment of experiencing love in your relationship with money. How does that change things? How could you express generosity in your relationship with money? Is there a way of expressing generosity that is generous to yourself as well as to others? And that is truly fulfilling, filling you full with the joy of life as you share in your own wealth and the richness of your life with others. And let's take a note of the fact that whatever you're feeling now, and maybe there are some really beautiful feelings that are associated with a healthy, thriving, abundant, generous relationship with money, you're feeling those feelings now. And this is very important because you can bring that state that you would love to experience into the present as you're doing right now. And this is how you create that in your own life. And the point about it is that then it's not only creating it for you, but your vibration or your energy is shared with all of us. It's shared with the collective of humanity. And so every person who contributes to this good feeling about money is contributing that to all of us. And therefore your individual contribution and our group contribution in this moment of literally positive vibes about money is making a contribution to the collective at the same time. And if we are able to resolve the inner conflicts that we have around money by understanding the message that I shared with you, that money is an expression of love, and that is an expression of generosity, that it's an exquisitely beautiful energy that is always, always available to us. And that when we can relate with it, knowing that about it, our relationship is radically different from what most of us have been used to having in the past. And that contributes to unity, because we don't need to be afraid of money. We don't need to manipulate with it or use it for our own gain at the expense of others, because there is a natural generosity that arises in that relationship. There is a natural desire to do good, to use money to create more beauty in the world, to create more goodness, and to make the world a better place for all of us and not just a few of us. You can't help feeling those kinds of things when you have this kind of relationship with money. It's impossible to be greedy, to be manipulative. It's impossible to abuse your power. You can't do that when you are in a relationship with money that is loving and generous. You can do it when you forget. And we all forget, so it's not an overnight solution to make us perfect beings. Life isn't like that. We can forget, but once you've been touched by this message, it's hard to completely forget it. There's something that changes inside you and that starts to ease and to release the underlying tension and conflict that exists throughout most societies in the world today around money, expressed in different forms in different cultures. Okay, so if you've been sitting back, eyes closed, let's kind of come back into a little bit more of an awake position here. And one of the things I'd love to encourage you to do in order to take this message into your own life is to go away and talk with somebody else about your relationship with money and their relationship with money, and do the same thing as I've done with you. Have a think and a talk about, what's my relationship with money like at the moment? What's your relationship with money like at the moment? And then have an exploration of what could it be like? How would I love it to be? Because we all know how to relate with the idea of having a good relationship with a human being. And it's extraordinarily similar. That's what I find when we talk about money. So we know how to imagine a good relationship. It's very good for you to talk about this with other people. And it's an interesting thing because you can do it over and over again. I have this conversation often with different people, and I usually participate in it myself. And I can always look at, what's my relationship with money like today? And how would I love it to be? And it always sets out the path of the next stage of transformation for me, because it is a continuing relationship throughout our life. It's more enduring for many people than a marriage is. You're not going to be able to get all the way to the end of your life without money. And so it's something that we can be prepared for a very, very long-term engagement with. And therefore, it's always good to have a look, have a check-in with, where am I now actually? Even in the hour before this session, I did that. Not because of doing this session, but I just felt like, it's time for me to check in. Where am I in this relationship? And then I start to think, okay, I notice a few things that I would like to be different. And that starts the dreaming in progress. We started this session with a look into 2030. And we're talking now about dreaming our relationship with money. I began by saying that our personal relationship with money is really connected with our public relationship with money. And I believe that it's very important that we don't only dream a personal relationship. We also give ourselves permission to dream that more public relationship with money and expression of money in society, because it is so clear that many of our financial systems at the moment are very broken. And that's not only me that will say that. Many people who are operating within the financial system are admitting that it's broken. But I think the problem is that they don't know how to fix it. And who's going to fix it? The people who are going to fix it are the people who are willing to stand up and say, yes, we can fix it, and here's a way. So we need to become proactive in our relationship with money at whatever level we are, whether that's in your family, which is like a little business, or in your business, which affects your community, or in your community, which affects the wider community, in your country, like if you start to do business, you affect your national GDP, your national expression of money, and across the world. So it's never just private. And it's also never just public. When we think it's just public, we tend to think we can get away with all kinds of things we'd never want to do in our private life. And that is not a good recipe for society or for money either. So all the way through my book, there is this encouragement to dream. And it's so funny because we've learnt a lot about this with the law of attraction, The Secret, and all these kinds of things about imagining what we want. But it's so easy to get into this very personal imagination. Oh, well, I want this kind of car, or I want this kind of house, or I want this kind of work, or these kinds of clients. But what about a more collective dreaming? So I'd like to share a recording that I made with Gary again, which is called Portal to a New Earth. But the original name of it, before we really named it properly, was Money Portal. So what I actually did when I recorded this was I kind of entered a portal, so to speak, where we have this kind of relationship with money that I'm talking about, and then described what I experienced there. And I'd love to share that with you, not because I want you to have my dream, but by sharing my dream, I want to encourage you to develop your dream and to share that with other people. And when we share our dreams, they become a little more real. And when we take steps towards realizing our dreams, they become a lot more real. And it's in the sharing, the being willing to open up and say, I actually believe that things could be better and this is something that we could do to move in that direction, that things change. And every single one of us can do that. There is nobody who is too small or too inexperienced or too unimportant. Every single one of us contributes to this.
There's a portal near here that we can enter. It will take us into a new earth, a vision, an experience. This is a place of trust. This is a place of ease and grace. This is a place of flow. This is a place where human beings thrive. This is a place that we belong to. So come with me and let's see what we could create as a collective, a group of human beings who are conscious and awake. And choose a new earth. We're stepping in now. Be quiet. This is a different world. This is a world where everything is listening, where the flowers and the trees can hear you. Your thoughts, that passing feeling. So listen to the beauty. Listen to the colors. Listen to the textures of life. Like threads woven in layer upon layer. The air is thick with sound, with harmonies, with voices, with laughter, with joyfulness. This is a place of ease and grace. It's a place of play and light-heartedness. This is a place of flow, a place where we know each other. This is a place of trust, where human beings thrive. Rich in health, expanded in love, connected in our common wealth. This is a place where nature abounds, where every child grows up with plants and trees and tiny creatures. This is a place that we are a part of, that we belong to. This is a place where we can find our hearts, where our souls can sing, and where we live every day to the full. This is a place where we know who we are, and we know each other, and we're all so different. This is a place where there's room. There's room for the quiet ones and the noisy ones. There's room for the slow ones and the fast ones. There's a spectrum of people. And every one of them has his or her place. So take a look around. Make yourself at home. There's so much going on. You're going to love this place. It's such a beautiful way to live. So in closing, I would simply like to say that that place that I described there, apart from a few details, we can already live that now. We can live it in our hearts, we can live it in our businesses, we can create it in our own worlds. And I started back in 2012 is when I really started to explore this message and learn in my own life how to live it. And now I find myself 11 years later involved in a business that is aiming to bring this kind of economy to the world. Very, very different economy based on abundance and generosity rather than scarcity. So based in a true relationship with money. I would never have dreamt that that was possible for me. And it only happened because I took little steps every day in the direction that I could see, bringing that world into the present. That is the essence of what money has shared with me, that if you want to experience abundance and thriving and generosity, you dream it and you bring it. You live it, dream it and live it as much as you can. Just simple things, being relaxed, enjoying yourself, loving your life, and making decisions that are in alignment with that, and especially exploring how you can do that in your relationship with money. That is the essence of the healing of that relationship. And I believe that if we heal our relationship with money, we heal the collective of humanity and our experience on this planet at a very profound level, because money is this energy of sharing, of that it enables us each to contribute our gifts to the world. It enables the exchange of gifts, and therefore it's fundamental to the expression of human purpose. So thank you very much for being with me today. Thank you to Unity Earth for Unity Earth and World Unity Week for creating this event. And thank you to the Evolutionary Leaders. I'm a member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, which is a project from the Source of Synergy Foundation. And that is the reason why I'm here, in their room, in their space, in World Unity Week, sharing this message about money, which I think is a message that every single one of us can take leadership in. It's a very evolutionary message. Thank you very much, and I wish you very, very well in your relationship with money.